As a longtime Sonic fan, Sonic 3 was absolutely fantastic. From easy-to-miss details, to dialogue taken directly from the games, to the soundtrack, here is everything that I noticed in SonicMovie 3.
Oh yes! You got donuts.
I already ate all the Boston cream.
The movie opens up on Prison Island. Prison Island is a location from the games, which is where Shadow was kept for 50 years. I've also seen a lot of people talk about this robot on the desk here, but to me it just looks like a model of a gun robot that we'll see in the third act. We hear an acoustic version of Live and Learn playing, and then we get to see Shadow and Maria in this field of flowers. This is actually a visual taken from Sonic X ShadowGenerations Dark Beginnings.
What? The containment tank is destabilizing.
This scene draws a lot of parallels to the CGI opening cutscene of Shadow the Hedgehog. I noticed that he knocked out this gun soldier with an upwards kick. This is actually a kick that he does in Shadow the Hedgehog, both in one of the cutscenes and as part of his melee attacks. We get the title drop, which was made specifically to look like the logo of Sonic Adventure 2. Tails' tails in this shot kind of remind me of the opening cutscene of Sonic Mania.
Time to light the afterburners! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Air Hedgehog!
Sonic does this spin after rail grinding from a tree. This spin is similar to an animation of one of the tricks done in Sonic Rush. There's also a shot of him running through a giant tree trunk. This shot kind of mimics a shot from the Sonic CD opening cutscene. He reaches the end after running past a goalpost, which is a reference to the end of Sonic levels in the classic games. Knuckles and Tails wait at the finish line while tapping one foot. This is a reference to the idle animations in the classic games. However, Tails doesn't do the foot tapping.
Holograms! Which means I remain the undefeated speed champion of all time! Yes! And the crowd goes wild!
In the background you can hear an arrangement of the victory music from the Sonic games. Tom, Maddie, Knuckles, and Tails throw Sonic a birthday party, kinda like Sonic's friends did in SonicGenerations. It is Sonic's 1-year anniversary after being found by Tom. This means that Sonic movies 1 and 2 take place during the year 2023.
My state-of-the-art security system!
Of course, Sonic here references the state-of-the-art security system from Sonic Movie 1. Here you can see Sonic and Longclaw sitting on a loop-de-loop from Green Hill Zone. Longclaw is also holding the sunflower that Sonic gave her.
2024? I've been trapped for 50 years?
It is revealed that Shadow has been trapped since the year 1984. It is very easy to miss, but you can spot a Chao in Space billboard in the background. Not only is this the name of a short animation, it's also been in the backgrounds of many Sonic games as an in-universe movie. 623 on the poster is a reference to Sonic 1's release date, June 23rd.
Commander Walters is requesting Team Sonic's immediate assistance.
Director Rockwell calls them Team Sonic, which is their team name from the games ever since Sonic Heroes.
I don't need your silly gizmos, Fox. And you know why? Because I am 1,000,000% muscle.
Knuckles references the 1,000,000% muscle line from Sonic 2.
Talk about low-budget flights! No food or movies? We're out of here!
This line is actually a reference to the opening cutscene of Sonic Adventure 2.
Talk about low-budget flights! No food or movies? I'm out of here! I like running better!
Right before they land, Tails actually grabs Sonic, and Knuckles grabs from Sonic's feet, kind of like in their flight formation from Sonic Heroes.
Who is this guy?
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here. Now come on! You can't take us all at once! Okay, he took us all at once.
Weakling.
During this shot, you can actually spot the Tails 2 mystery woman in the background, later confirmed to be Professor Victoria. Shadow's pose here is actually the same one from Sonic 06 after hitting a homing attack. Shadow actually does an angled kick here, similar to his aim attack in Sonic Battle. Shadow actually uses his air shoes here to lift Sonic up into the sky. He's actually never done this in the games before except for this one time in Sonic Adventure 2. His pose here is kinda similar to a Sonic Adventure 2 artwork. And this shot here is actually very similar to the end of the CGI cutscene in Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow steals a gun motorcycle like in the game Shadow the Hedgehog, and he later does this slide off a building referencing Akira. Team Sonic goes to the Chao Garden Cafe. Of course, the Chao Garden is a feature from Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. The first thing we see is a green Chao and a Knight's Chao performing. In this shot here, you can get a full view of the entire cafe, based off of the Hero Garden mostly, as well as having walls reminiscent of the soil in Green Hill Zone, as well as some palm trees. One of the mascots is actually a Knuckles Chao, which is very strange to see in-universe. There's also a parrot from Sonic Adventure 2. You can also spot some Chao egg decorations. One of the emojis on the table is actually the hero fruit from Sonic Adventure 2. In the background, you can also spot a kid wearing a shirt with the Sonic Adventure 2 Dark Chao artwork, as well as a girl wearing a backpack with the Knuckles Chao on it. This girl is also wearing a shirt with a neutral Chao artwork on it. The girl next to her is wearing a badge with an artwork of cheese on it. In the background, you can actually spot a ball. One of the toys you could give to the Chao is actually a ball in Sonic Adventure 2.
Shadow's story began a lot like your Sonic. But where you found family and friends on this planet, Shadow found only pain and loss. It begins over 50 years ago with a meteor crash in a quiet corner of Oklahoma. The meteorite contained a life form. The ultimate life form.
Shadow's origins have been heavily oversimplified for this movie. Instead of being created by Gerald, he lands on Earth on a meteorite. The meteorite's shape is actually very similar to the Black Comet from Shadow the Hedgehog. It is explained that Shadow's power is chaos energy. This means that Sonic's and Knuckles' powers could be chaos energy related as well, however to a much lesser degree. Now you will spot an interesting retcon here. Gun was operational 50 years ago, when in Sonic 2 it was explained that Gun was formed after the events of Sonic 1.
After the events in San Francisco, a global task force was created, devoted to protecting our planet from alien threats. That day, Guardian Units of Nations was born.
Now there could be an in-universe explanation for this. My personal theory is that Commander Walters was lying to the Wachowskis in order to not to leak any additional information about Gun. Another theory is that Gun could have disbanded after this incident and reformed after the events of Sonic 1.
But there's only a few people in the world who even know of Shadow's existence.
In this shot you can spot some artworks in the background, such as a Chao artwork on that poster there. Then you can find some 3D renders on that wall over there. This shot you can spot the Chaos Drives as lamps. The stage has a sign saying Chao Garden. This logo is actually taken from the tiny Chao Garden from Sonic Advance. The middle Chao here is actually cheese, you can see that from the bow tie. The Chao on the left is wearing a sombrero and maracas. This is actually a reference to another one of Sega's properties, Samba de Amigo. When Gun enters the Chao Garden Cafe, you can see this TV in front of the door. This is also one of the toys from Sonic Adventure 2. The giant crab is based off of the crab meat badnik from the games.
Posse is looking for has stolen my persona, and the precious baby is from my egg sack.
Eggman references the egg sack line from Sonic 1. Damn, that sounds weird to say.
Ooh, look what came out of my egg sack.
And then does this. We finally get to see Maria. Unlike in the games, she does not have a disease, and Shadow wasn't created to cure her. However, she is just someone who Gerald just brought along. There's a very cute montage, during which Maria and Shadow watch a movie. The monster on screen is actually the Bio Lizard, the original Ultimate Life Form from the games.
Nothing scares an echidna warrior.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened last movie night?
Knuckles' fear of ghosts is actually a character trait taken from the games.
I'm your grandfather, Gerald Robotnik. In the saggy flesh, but looking pretty good for 110.
Unlike his game counterpart who got killed, Gerald was actually imprisoned for 50 years. It seems that Shadow's quill is the thing that kept him alive for so long.
Shadow, get the key.
Where is it?
Ha! Good one, Hot Topic.
I know this is probably a stretch, but to me this sounds like a Snapcube reference.
About 13 seconds before the island explodes, you Hot Topic wannabe, and you blue gumball son of a bitch.
Gerald reveals the Eclipse Cannon. The Eclipse Cannon in the games is actually part of the Space Colony arc. However, in this movie, the entire space station is the Eclipse Cannon. This shot is actually very similar to a shot of the White House getting blown up in Shadow the Hedgehog. On the right side here you can see an Eggman Land sign. Eggman Land is actually a location from Sonic Unleashed built by Eggman. The face on the cake here is actually much similar to Eggman's face from the games. In the background you can hear the piano rendition of Green Hill Zone from the end of SonicMovie 1. Tom wears a Donut Lord sweater, which is his nickname of course from the first two movies. It is explained that Gun headquarters is located in London. This is actually a nice bit of continuity kept with the Knuckles show. Sonic does this little shrug here, which kind of reminds me of a stock artwork of his. The icons here are actually taken straight from Sonic Mania's competition mode.
As guardian of the Master Emerald, anyone who tries to take it away for any reason will become a sworn enemy.
Knuckles calls himself the Guardian of the Master Emerald, which is his title in the games.
Are you guys finished yet? This is taking forever.
This part is actually very similar to the E-Rank animation in Sonic Unleashed.
Oh, take it out and blow on it.
Yes! Come on, Tom. There's absolutely no scientific evidence to support. Never mind, it worked!
Little trick from the 90s.
I mean, best decade ever, right?
This is of course a trick that people used to do back in the 90s to get their games starting on older consoles. Sonic references the Beatles album cover on Abbey Road. It's very hard to hear, but there's actually a City Escape reference in the music here. It's more prominent in this part, so listen closely.
You're not gonna make it!
I'm gonna make it! I'm not gonna make it! I'm not gonna make it! Made it!
Tails throwing Sonic like this might be a reference to Sonic Mania Adventures. Sonic does his hurt pose here from the classic games, followed up by a pose similar to the Sonic Adventure DX box art. Knuckles uses his Flames of Disaster powers from the Knuckles show to actually break the glass.
Sonic 1, Concrete Boulder 0.
This is actually a reference to this line from Sonic 1.
A Sonic 1, a Big Tank 0.
I'm a chip of the old block! What do you want, Stone?
The suits they wear are actually much closer to Eggman's outfit from the games. Eggman's ringtone is actually his theme from Sonic Adventure. The music here is actually a remake of Eggman's theme from Sonic 06. Of course, Wade is the new Guardian of the Master Emerald after his adventures with Knuckles in the Knuckles show. The Eclipse Cannon has a nose and a mustache. This is a small nod to the Ark's design from the games.
Hey! What are you doing? Those are children! We've got our orders! Stand down!
Womp womp, she actually gets shot in the game. Now I do understand this change because her death in the games is much darker.
You were right about one thing. This ends now.
This entire fight scene seems very much inspired by DBZ. One of the kicks that Sonic does here is similar to his dash attack from Sonic Battle. Eggman references the left yourself open line from Sonic 1. Gerald uses a jetpack here, kind of like how Eggman does in the game sometimes.
Maria might be gone, but your love will always remain.
The light shines, even though the star is gone.
The music in the background is actually a rendition of the last scene from Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic and Shadow do the Super Dab from Sonic Adventure 2, while a new rendition of Live and Learn plays in the background. We get to see the gun robots from the games. Sonic and Shadow do the SA2 moon pose here. Shadow does Chaos Spears here. In the games he can do it without going super. Sonic and Shadow try to stop the beam, while in the games they actually stop the arc from crashing onto the Earth. Sonic actually transforms back and falls back to the Earth. In the games, this actually happens to Shadow instead, and he dies from the impact. The moon gets sliced in half here. In the games, it actually gets blown up as a warning shot from Eggman. Shadow takes off his limiter rings, like he does in Sonic 06.
I'll miss your lattes with steamed Austrian goat milk. I love the way you make them.
Eggman does his final reference to SonicMovie 1.
Team Sonic?
How about just team?
Now what's crazy is that this line is actually taken from Sonic Boom.
Chuck another one up for Team Sonic. How about just team?
The credit sequence has edited models from Sonic the Fighters, along with some new models with that same style. At the start, the characters actually do their Sonic Adventure idle animations. Here the characters are trapped in bubbles. This is actually a mechanic from some of the classic games. And of course it ends with the iconic moon pose. Now before moving on to the post-credit scenes, I want to talk about some things that I noticed during editing. Behind Shadow in this scene, you can spot a Chaos Soda ad, which is an in-universe drink. And in Gerald's prison room, you can actually spot E105 Zeta.
Sonic the Hedgehog is family champion once again!
If you listen carefully, you can actually hear a tire screeching sound when Sonic stops, kind of like in Sonic Adventure. Now there are multiple MetalSonics. Now this is an idea likely taken from the Brotherhood of Metallic's arc from the Fleetway comics. And of course it ends with the reveal of Amy. Now let's talk about this for a moment. Nobody in the current universe would have enough time to actually create multiple MetalSonics. Now this piece of concept art was released of a bad future, and to me, this actually can still be found in the final product. MetalSonic's entrance seems like a direct reference to the Terminator. Now with that small theory out of the way, I have to say that I absolutely loved this movie. The cast really gave their all, and I just love Keanu as Shadow. Jim Carrey's performance as both Eggman and Gerald were absolutely fantastic. I think it's something truly magical when a movie can make you smile during its entire runtime. Anyway, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.